Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Never in history has there been a good podcast intro.
Yeah, I think this is good.
It's probably good. The truth is we do too many of them, so I never... It's pointless trying to carve out an intro.
No. Don't do that.
No.
Why do that?
We're far too professional for that.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
What an episode of Hypecast!
Hypecast.
It's the show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm your other co-host, David Bell. And welcome to our guest.
The invisible fucking man!
Yeah.
It's nobody!
Woo!
It's no one.
Tom,
Guestless.
I mean, whatever. These things happen. We had a guest. There was a scheduling error. We'll have them back on again. It's no biggie. We carry this just fine by ourselves.
Right. In a way, you're my guest, and I am your guest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tom, breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Fantastic Four has cast their Galactus. Did you see this?
I did not.
Any guesses? I'm not saying other casting choices have been bad or anything, but this is my clue. This is one of the first ones where I went like, oh yeah, good pick.
Oh,
Any thoughts?
Coleman Domingo.
No.
He played a Unicron, so I was thinking maybe.
Oh, that would be good. Ralph Ineson.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah. That's a voice for Galactus.
Hell yeah.
That is a voice where I'm like, yeah, that would be like a giant
sounds
planet
like a
eater.
dude that eats rocks. Yeah.
Yeah. So
He
I
does
don't
sound
know.
like the goddamn rock biter.
It's a good idea.
Solid, yeah.
What else is new?
Nothing, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm okay.
Okay.
I scheduled my colonoscopy, so I got that going for me. A few weeks.
Good, yeah.
A few weeks from now.
What are you doing to celebrate?
I'm not eating for a day.
Mm-hmm.
And shitting a lot, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, that sounds like fun, man.
It will
should
be
be
fun.
good. Yeah.
I'll get they apparently take a picture. So that's kind of cool that I'll get a picture
Of your
of
butt?
my insides. Yeah. They take what if it was just not in your colon? It was just your bare passed out
Bare
ass.
ass.
Doctor
With a
next to you
camera in
giving
it.
like a peace sign. I want that so bad.
They're like setting up plastic dinosaurs on your right cheek.
Holy shit, we should be doctors.
We'd be the best doctors.
We would be. We'd know how to do it. These
Man.
freaks, they don't know.
Cure everything.
Oh, God. God damn. Anyway, no. Unfortunately, it's going to be like a medical picture, I guess. I don't know. I've never had one.
It's a medical
so
picture. Is it like when they
exciting.
put like a lab coat on it?
Yeah.
Just put that picture in a lab coat.
I lived in a place where we'd get science drunk, and what that meant is we had a bunch of beakers and flasks, and we used them as decanters and shot glasses and stuff. And every time we drank, we bought lab coats that we would put on and measure exactly how much booze we were drinking as we were just getting drunk. Science. It's science.
No, it is. Yeah.
It's not. It's
You
not.
could have submitted that as a science project.
Exactly. It's a serious scientific endeavor at
Yeah.
that point. It's
Yeah.
a tax write-off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is all deductible. We're all in
Anywho.
pursuit of knowledge.
Yeah. What you been up to?
Oh, nothing. Just getting regular drunk.
Yeah. Just sitting around staring.
Not a damn thing.
Fair
Let's
enough.
thank some producers, though. I'd like to do that.
All right, let's do it. Big old thank you to @NerdNumbers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew. Nobody deserves more hype, McGuire.
Thanks.
Aw. Thank you to Andrew. How wants Tom and Jeff watch wrestling?
Oh, man. Thank you.
I want Tom and Jeff wrestle. Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you.
Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank you. Well, Dave, your birthday is coming up, isn't it?
Exactly. Few months.
Let me swoop in here. Thank you to Bootler Bootlesson.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brian, who Tom knows.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brockway Loves the Meat Millie.
Thank you.
Thank you to Burrito wants you to drink water, hit the gin, and do the ska, because they loves y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you to Christopher Robert Sparts, Esquire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you.
And thank you to David Knife Boot
Nice
Hinson.
boot. Nice. All right, we're greased up.
Yep.
We're good to go. We got trailers. I'm feeling
So many trailers, man.
I'm feeling okay about a lot of them.
I'm feeling pretty mild.
All right, let's start with the second and probably the last trailer. We don't tend to repeat trailers, but this was a light week, so I was like, fuck it.
A little bit, yeah.
Twisters, new trailer. They're going for the let's hit middle America with like country music and like. I get it. It's a movie that takes place in Tornado Alley or whatever. So
yeah, this is like a more robust trailer, sort of getting more into the story, which is fine. I mean, it's kind of what we should sort of infer from the trailers we'd seen before, where Glenn Powell is a handsome dickhead. And the lady is like trying to set up Dorothy again, and he's like, "Hey, I'll help you because I'm a hotshot."
It really is just doing Twister again.
Pretty much,
like it's pretty much
kinda,
a remake.
It's kind of combining Carrie Elways and Bill Paxton into one character.
Yeah,
and then
but
having Helen Hunt again.
Yeah, it's doing a will they, won't they? Like they're kind of opposed to each other.
Yeah,
they're kind of like they don't like each other's methods. They're doing, like you said, Dorothy again, which is like. That feels a little lazy. Like I don't know. I don't like the. It's weird because Twister. I love Twister, but there's no integrity. You know what I mean? Where I'm like,
it's not precious by any means.
Yeah. So like, but it is like, oh, you're just. Does that mean Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt failed in the first movie? Like she's doing it again? You know? I thought they defeated tornadoes.
That's right. They did conquer tornadoes at the end.
Yeah.
They got their readings. They got to see the eye of the storm, Dave.
Right. This should
That's
be
like
a world.
Seeing God's urethra.
Exactly. This is
That's
like
what
this
they
should
say
be like
in the movie.
Jurassic.
That's what Bill Paxton says. Oh God, it's like God's urethra.
Is that the part where he picks up sand and throws it on the ground to test the wind?
Yep. Like a real storm chaser.
Yeah. They this should be like Jurassic World. Like we have conquered tornadoes. There's now a tornado theme park.
Yeah.
We have enslaved
They're just
tornadoes.
free tornadoes, like running on free on the range. I guess that's what they are now.
Yeah, free range tornadoes. It's true.
It's the opposite direction. Is we're going from wilderness into captivity.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, fuck it. Put a de-aged and CGI Philip Seymour Hoffman in there. You got to have him. It's Twister.
Yeah. Get the waxen corpse of Bill Paxton in there too. Why not?
Exactly. Fuck it. No, I mean, that's all to say that like they're playing all the hits. Like the beginning of this is a rodeo, and I was thinking like, ooh, flying bull. They're gonna be like, we got cows again.
Mm-hmm.
You know. There's the line, you think you can disrupt a tornado, which I realize is like a tech disrupting an industry. I didn't even pick up on that immediately. That it's like, the tech people. You want to disrupt tornadoes.
That's a weird. That's a challenging line out of context. They maybe should have picked a different one for the trailer.
I'm just assuming, but
that makes way more sense because I took it to mean just like literally, like
right. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the idea is. I mean, that
You
wouldn't
think you
that
can
make
disrupt
sense?
a tornado? What?
That would make sense as a goal, right? The idea when a tornado touches down, they can
dissipate it or something.
Yeah. If that's the goal,
just big vacuum cleaners, man. Just vacuum it up.
This also has we have twins, and they have the quirky group. It's all to say that like it's all the same bullshit. I just don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm gonna watch.
It's been 30 years since the last one. 28.
Yeah,
that's enough time. I'm fine.
Yeah,
there's nothing precious about Twister. It's Twister.
No, they can't hurt me.
No,
and so it's all good to me. Like it's all plus.
Yeah,
pluses. So I don't know.
I continue to be fully on board for Twisters.
Who I forget who.
I don't remember.
I looked it up
who's behind
before.
it?
The director. It's someone where you're like, really, Lee Isaac Chung, who did Minari. Yes.
Oh,
it's the director. I love that. I love that because you know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Where like he made this great film, and then Hollywood called him up, and they're like, "That was so touching and good. You want to make like a Twisters?" And him like thought for 1 second, like. Absolutely, yes, I do.
The word would barely be finished coming out of their mouths. Anyone would say yes.
Such a funny
Would you like to make Twist? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Uh-huh.
You are rewarded with a Twisters. They should give every like art house director one Twister.
One Twister. That wouldn't be as special then, Dave. We
That's
get one
true.
Twister a generation.
That's fair, yeah. This guy got it. Good for them.
Nailed it. Let's move on.
The Acolyte is our second thing. This is also another repeat trailer. It's just like Twisters. This is just like we got like a kind of a teaser. It's a Star Wars series. It's supposed to take place like thousands of years.
Way before. I was way more interested in the trailer because this pretty quickly reveals that it's not in fact a murder mystery. Like the identity of the Jedi Slayer is revealed quite quickly in the trailer, and it just becomes yet another story about a wayward apprentice who's turned evil and thinks the Jedi are evil, but they're not really exploring that because it's just coming from a bad guy, you know? You know what I mean? Like
stagnated. Yes.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Where they're like, who's killing these Jedi? It's that guy with the Boba Fett helmet with teeth. And that's it. That's the answer in this, where it's like, I don't know. It feels Star Wars is just stagnated to me. Completely.
Really, I wrote this in the notes, and we say this every time. It's incredible that Star Wars is just a TV show now.
Yeah.
So weird. I mean, it's not like a positive or a negative, really, but it's fucking wild to me that it's a TV show now.
Did you play the new game?
A little bit. Oh, the
Jedi Survivor?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, because this isn't a big spoiler, but there's a lot of stuff in that game about like ancient Jedis, and they like treat it more of like these like big temples, like godlike characters, you know, like this ancient society of knights.
That. There was some of that in the previous game too. I liked that stuff.
Me too. You know, it'd be cool if it was in this, because like that's the thing is like it feels so stagnant. When I said this last time, where they're like we're exploring like the early Jedis, and it's like cool.
Why do they still
look
the same?
Yeah,
they look exactly
the same.
They're dressed exactly the same. This is thousands of years ago.
And where are we going to put them?
All dressed like Obi-Wan to a person.
Yep. And then where are we going to put them? I don't know, in some dusty western towns.
The Coruscant again.
Yeah, and it's like all the same fucking places. Like, give me like Game of Thrones, like temples. You know what I mean? Give me something different.
You can do anything. It's Star Wars. Sorry, Dave.
The villain. No. The villain in this has like a Vader wheeze, too.
I thought it was Vader first. I confused myself. Like, and
he
then
has the Vader profile.
Wait, what? Wait, does Vader have like a time watch or something? Right.
And I just can't help that, like, you know, the prequels are the prequels, but you look at George Lucas where he's like, I'm going to make new villains. Some would say too many villains, perhaps.
Really too many.
It's like, I can't decide. And he's like, what's the first one? Oh, this fucking guy with double lightsabers and horns. And he's like this weird alien race. He's all black and white. We'll call him Darth Maul. And then, like, what else do we got? I don't know, a fucking robot with 4 arms and, like, a human heart. Some, like, lizard asshole. What's the next one?
Weirdly excited about abandoning ship.
Yeah. I don't know. What's the next one? I don't know, a guy with a beard. We're good.
Really fucking old dude.
Yeah.
We're talking
But
like
then-
Christopher Lee old.
Yeah. The moment he sold it off, Disney's like, what's our next villain? Guy with a helmet who breathes? What's our next villain? I don't know. Guy with a helmet who breathes?
I mean,
like it's just like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
Take some creative initiative. Like, you bought this. So it's like they're too scared to do anything with it.
It's a lot like that.
Yeah.
That's
Because
the industry. We're too scared to do anything.
Yeah, so it's completely stagnated.
Kinda. There's apparently interesting. I still haven't watched Andor, but everybody keeps talking Andor up.
Andor is extremely good, and it's for the reasons we're saying, which is someone
So
said,
it's not completely
what if we
stagnant?
did something different? Yes, it just feels like the course is stagnant, right? Like their overall directive is stagnation.
It's bananas that there hasn't been a new Star Wars movie in, 6 years?
Yeah, I guess. It's interesting
I
because,
think anyway.
there's a world where after the first 3 Star Wars, they made like a TV show, and it wouldn't be that like abnormal. You know, people have done that. But it is weird that they were like films. Okay, I guess TV, and they've sort of just like given up on making Star Wars this big event, and just have made it a series of TV shows to like just keep their content mill going on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Like, I really feel like they're just reusing the sets. They're like very minimal effort. These don't feel like they have particularly huge budgets.
I would be surprised. I think that that Mandalorian screen probably does a lot for the budget.
Yeah,
if all these shows use them,
probably. I mean, I would if I were them.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
It works pretty well.
Yeah, but it yeah, I don't know. Like you just said, Andor is great. You should watch Andor, so it's not bleak. It's not even that these shows are necessarily bad. They all, like, Obi-Wan was like fine. They're just all like, you know, fine. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I can't think of the last. I guess Andor is the one time that I was genuinely like, wow, this is really good. I guess first season of Mandalorian.
That first season
too.
of Mandalorian, yeah, that's what I wanted to point out, is that, man, I remember everybody was jazzed on that first season of Mandalorian, and I remember, at least among our group of friends, it was because it wasn't. It was a new thing that wasn't really connected to anybody.
Yeah, it was
Like,
fucking new.
It was, yeah, it was still recognizable places in Star Wars, but there wasn't a Jedi. It didn't have a Skywalker in it. And then by the end of season 2, they'd hammered a Skywalker and a Boba Fett and all this other shit in there.
It's those conversations that you imagine like Bob Iger having with David Zaslav, where like they're like, these numbers, people are enjoying it too much. Let's ruin it. Like, that's what it feels like. Mandalorian was like, I was with it until even in season 2, I was like, not great, but okay. And they managed to ruin that. Like, I didn't watch season 3 after realizing that I would have to gone and watched Book of Boba Fett first. That was an insane choice. Like, what it
Really
absolutely
strange. That was really strange.
It really feels like they're just trying to destroy themselves because they're like, okay, we got a good thing going. What if we hijacked the show and held it hostage so that people would have to watch our other show? And it's like, no, don't leverage your good show to push another show, you idiots. Like, just let the show be good on its own. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's nuts. It's like, you know what it is? It's like if X-Files made us watch the Lone Gunman show, or else we wouldn't know what was happening in the X-Files. You know? And it's like, well, okay, bye.
Well, I'm not watching this then.
Yeah. You forced my hand. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You successfully forced me to stop watching your show. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is good. I don't fucking know. Do we know anything about, like...
No, I don't.
Who's
I
in
don't.
it?
Unfortunately, I don't know anything about who's making it, except I saw Carrie Ann Moss in the trailer.
I like her. She's in Memento.
So that's
famously.
fun. Yeah, and I don't know. It looks too much like just more of the same. I want some new stuff from Star Wars.
So this would have been a good thing to note. This is from the creator of Russian Doll.
Oh.
Lead with that. Like, now I'm like, oh, maybe. You know? Okay. Maybe like what we're seeing in these trailers is not representative.
I'm not jazzed about this. It just looks exactly like everything else.
Yeah.
Not, Star Wars.
No, I agree. Yeah. It's just like some information like that would be useful. That's all.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be enough. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Should
we talk about this next one?
Yeah.
This is called Eric. It's just a funny name.
Oh, man.
It's the story of Eric.
I'm just... You'd never possibly guess what this movie is.
I know.
Based
this
on
is a
that
lot.
title. Holy cow, this movie.
This movie is this. All right, I want to see this because you can tell that the trailer editor is struggling.
Oh yeah.
To figure out what to tell people.
This person was sweating at 6:28 a.m.
Yeah.
Sending this trailer off.
It's Benedict Cumberbatch, not as Eric. His son goes missing.
And his son's name isn't Eric either.
Yes.
So if you just like, oh, I know why it's named Eric, you don't. You fucked up.
So his son has an imaginary friend. That's called Eric.
There's Eric.
And it looks at first like kind of I got like Mystic River vibes of like, okay, it's about a grieving dad. Mm-hmm. And like he starts like they throw they're like grieving dad son. He's a puppeteer, by the way. Grieving dad, and you're like, what? He's a fucking what? And they're like, yeah, he's a puppeteer. He's like a Jim Henson puppeteer.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's like even an additional level on top of that.
Yeah, they throw that
like,
in,
who?
and you're like, yeah. Because it really is like in the first 30 seconds, they just like throw that at you real quick.
He's like a puppeteer.
And you're like,
oh, what? Okay, like Jim Henson. Wait.
Yeah, and you're like, is that important?
How deep into this are we going?
Yeah, because you're trying to figure out like, okay, what is the premise? This is a series, by the way. It's a mini series.
It would have to be. There's fucking too much going on in this trailer.
Yeah. So then he's like, I'm going to build a puppet based off the imaginary friend of my child, so that if wherever he is, he'll see it on TV and know that people still love him. And I was like, that seems like a really futile effort, but sure. And so I still thought, okay, we're exploring like the grieving of the father. But then they sort of start alluding to him like going out. And I was like, wait, is he going to fight crime with the puppet?
It looks like maybe.
Yes, it looks like maybe. Like he's
Is he going to
thwart
a human trafficking ring while dressed as this puppet?
Right. But then he starts imagining the puppet.
Well, he is an Imagineer of sorts, so you're not off base.
So then it's like, okay, wait, is this just about him breaking down? I still don't know what this is about.
It might be about a little bit of all of those things. It looks so weird.
Extremely weird.
Also, Benedict Cumberbatch is doing the voice of the imaginary friend Eric, and he's doing a whole ass voice.
Yes, he absolutely is. It's also got Gabby Hoffman in it.
It does, yeah.
She's Field of Dreams.
Yep. And, oh man, there's another significant one that I'm not remembering. What, like Mrs. Doubtfire or something?
Uncle Buck.
No, that's not right. That's right.
And then, like, other things. Like, she's been working since then.
Sure. Anyway.
But, yeah, I want to watch the shit out of this.
Yeah. This looks nuts.
I love it. I love a trailer that I can't figure out what the fuck it is. It just looks like nothing I have seen,
I'm a little less excited that it's a series. Not that I think
mini series.
Not that I think that it's going to be less good or anything like that. It's just that a premise like this is more familiar in like miniseries or TV territory. Like the idea of pushing this as like a 90-minute or 2-hour movie with Benedict Cumberbatch and this indecipherable premise, which just like really tickled me in a way that I'm sort of disappointed to learn that it's a series. But I'm still going to watch the shit out of this.
I get you, because it'd be just like, what the fuck, man? How do you
what an
cram
even
all
bigger
that?
swing. Yeah, like, man. This is how bold.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. No, we love weird stuff. We love the weird stuff.
And I'm excited for this. Well, our next one, man, we're snappy. We're getting through these. Ghostlight. This is about
an old.
This is about like an old surly construction worker who is having trouble with his daughter. There's like a disconnect there, and he doesn't seem like particularly happy. And then he stumbles upon a local theater production of Romeo and Juliet, and begins to take up a career or a hobby at least in acting in Romeo and Juliet. And so it's like surly construction worker does local theater. And then his daughter catches him, thinks he's cheating on his mom. That was cute. And he's like, it's for a play. And of course it's like, no, it isn't. But it turns out it is. So that's the premise. That's the whole fucking premise of this movie. It's like, look at this surly guy doing Shakespeare.
Yeah,
and
it's
sappy, and I am 100% in.
Yeah, it's they're gonna bond. This is how they're gonna overcome.
Yeah,
this strife, this disconnect between them. Because there's a subplot here that they're showing where she's like getting pulled out of school after school, and there's this last one where she's acted up, and we see them in a meeting where they're telling her this is her last chance now. So like, she's a problem child and they're estranged, but they're gonna come together in the theater, Dave, and it's gonna be beautiful, and everybody's gonna cry.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's for reference, like they need to make a sequel where he fights Will Hunting, and then Finding Forrester shows up. I know that's not the name of the character, but I'm going to call them Finding Forrester.
And then he uppercuts both secondhand lions.
Yeah. Oh yeah, both fucking secondhand lions. Both of those
old
sure.
fucks.
It's that kind of vibe where it's like, this is like, we're going to cliche you to death, and you're going to love it.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Who's this guy? What's this guy's deal?
I don't know. The actor, I actually don't recognize anybody in this trailer.
Yeah, I was looking it up, and I don't recognize any of these honkies. It might be interesting. Okay, so the lead role was in The Dark Knight as quote heckler. I don't know who that could be. He was also in. He was a henchman in Road to Perditions. Oh, he's been in multiple mob films.
He's a heavy,
old-timey
mob
mob
a heavy,
films.
Yeah.
He's a heavy
playing a construction worker. Yeah, I bet he's one of the cops that's jeering at Harvey Dent.
You're right. Oh my God, this guy has cop face. Yep, Chicago PD as well. He was in. Okay, yeah. So this guy
he's got Chicago police face.
Yeah, he's like character actor look.
Yeah, you guys can picture him in your mind, and you're correct.
Yes, you're 100% correct, which is perfect for this. I mean, I kind of want this to like.
I need to learn Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
To fix my relationship with my daughter.
A lot of like a lot of sweatshirts in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, shit. I'm really rooting for this because like, I don't know. There's that other movie, Sing Sing, which I'm sure is going to be good. Did you see the trailers for that? I think we covered it. You might not have been here.
Man, that's familiar.
It's the one where it takes place in prison, and it's a prisoner starting a theater troupe.
Yes,
and that has more of the vibe of like, look at the magic of acting and how it heals people.
Yep.
And it
crosses all boundaries.
Yes, it's probably a very good movie, but it's clearly like it's a big pork chop just for Oscars, right? It's just a big come and get it. We want an Oscar. This feels like a more toned down version of that, where it's like it doesn't feel as celebratory, right? Where they're not like the magic of theater brings us together.
Not trying to shoehorn it into being some like profound universal message.
Yeah, it's more like, isn't it funny that he's doing this?
Right. Well, there probably is there's profundity into the importance of connection, of making the connections, and sure allowing space for those things to grow. But like, it's not about how like theater intrinsically can save every relationship or anything like that.
I'm sure they'll be in there a little bit, but yeah, probably not.
Right. At least that's not the tone of this trailer seems to be.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm into it. And then there's the next one.
Oh man. The present.
Our next trailer, is the present. This is this just like snuck up behind me and kicked me in the back of the head. This is the basic premise. Ooh, one of the writers. It's written by someone who wrote Key and Peele. That just made me a little more excited for it. I mean, it does have okay. Well, wait, let's explain what it is.
Yeah, let's do that.
Two kids discover that a family fucking grandfather clock can manipulate time. They time travel back in time to stop their parents from getting a divorce.
Yep.
And it's like, that's the saddest reason to do time travel.
Yep.
And so it looks like almost Groundhog Day where they're trying over and over again. It keeps
not working, yeah.
I assume that's the message in the end is like, sometimes parents split up and there's nothing you can do. I assume that's what the message is.
That would be what I would write.
Yes. At one point they offered them like $1 million and the FBI busts in, which I was like, oh, that's a cute idea that they apparently like rob a bank. Like I like the idea that I want this to become Primer. Like I want it to get really dark and weird. It probably won't. Also,
did we say the parents are Greg Kinnear and Isla Fisher?
No, but we did just now.
But now we did.
Which I think there's a bit of an age gap there.
Yeah, probably. Right? Yeah, Greg Kinnear's
she's
pretty
leaving
old.
him, and so they have to like make their dad less of a goofus as part of it. I really want this to be
like he's getting. Isn't like her like tennis instructor Mario Lopez? Didn't I see Mario Lopez?
I mean, that sounds like someone who'd be in this.
Man, Greg Kinnear is in danger from Mario Lopez in this movie.
Yeah. This feels like a Disney Channel movie,
Yeah.
That's why I really hope that it takes like a terrifying turn or something. I want it to be like the end of fucking Lost in Space where there's like a giant spider, Gary Oldman. And it's like, I can save you all. Like, I want these kids to like destroy like the universe or like get locked in a time loop or something. It probably won't have any of those things. What if this becomes like?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, what if this becomes one of the most like mind fucky time travel movies, like Predestination or something, where it goes down in history as like a real head trip.
Oh man, no, there's no Mario Lopez. False alarm, alarm, everyone.
Damn.
I apologize.
That's a shame. I don't know, man. This is a lot of movies get made, Dave. Yeah, we wrote in the notes, like, there's so many movies. This is the one that made me stand back and reflect on that of, like, how did these two people find the time to make this movie?
So many movies get made. A shocking amount, really.
Yeah. They're just making this. They're just throwing this movie out
there.
Speaking of too many movies, this is the third trailer for this movie that I didn't know existed. The Bikeriders.
Oh yeah,
it's Jeff Nichols.
I've been seeing this trailer at the local Cineplex for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the first time I saw it. Yeah, Jeff Nichols did Mud famously, and then Midnight Special less famously. And other things?
No, but Midnight Special. Oh no, wait, no, I'm sorry, that's not the one that Shannon got the Oscar nom for. That was Nocturnal.
Right, that does have Michael Shannon in it, right?
Yes, it does. Yeah, he's the dad.
Oh, right.
Anyway,
this is a biker movie. It's a biker movie
about a biker gang, with a cast of actors just doing a fucking voice.
Everybody has marbles in their mouth.
Yeah, everybody's doing a goddamn voice. It's like a puppet show.
It is. So the main character is fucking Austin Butler.
I think the main character is actually Jodie Comer.
Wow.
It seems like she's telling the story in the trailer, but
okay.
It seems like she is with Austin Butler, who is joining this fearsome gang of Tom Hardy's, and she's like, but he's going to ride too fast with you guys and die.
Right. It has
That's always
Tom
the
Hardy,
risk, Dave.
Tom Hardy is as Johnny. Michael Shannon is playing Zipco. That's his character.
Hell
name.
yeah.
And Norman Reedus as Funny Sonny. And they're all just...
Man, if I can understand a single word anyone says, they made this movie wrong. They did it wrong.
It really is these guys. Oh, it's a bunch of guys who really need a shave and a shower, just going like...
Just roaring at each other.
Just Jeff Bridges and fucking True Grit.
Call shot.
I can tell exactly. Have you seen the poster? Like they're clearly trying to invoke like Easy Rider.
Yeah,
it's like a 70s poster.
Trailer has a bit of a 70s vibe to it. I actually want to see this movie. It looks pretty good. Honestly.
Oh, I bet it's very good. I bet it's a very good movie.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good actors in it.
Yeah, it looks.
Seems like a straightforward. It seems like a throwback thriller, like a little bit to that.
Yeah, I think
sort
that's
of
what they're
70s
going
mood.
for,
Yeah,
right?
For sure. Yeah.
And like, I don't know. Jeff Nichols has made some interesting films. I like anybody who tries to do these weird, interesting ideas. So this looks like it just like tonally very, very interesting, and like it's just filled with good actors. It's just my goodness, the grumbles of it all.
It's incredible. It's like people auditioning voices for cartoon characters.
Yeah. It's like, come on, guys! You just need one of these. I wish
Is everyone here a breakfast mascot?
It would be amazing if all of the bikers were played by Tom Hardy, all doing different
doing
voices.
A different voice.
He's doing the Bane voice for one of them.
Oh, yes, it is time to mount up.
Holy
Tonight
shit!
we ride.
Oh my god, who is missing? Is anybody missing?
Jeff Bridges, like you mentioned.
Jeff Bridges.
Fucking Ted Levine.
Gotta
get Buffalo Bill in there.
Yeah.
You're a great big fat person.
I also kind of want Brian Cox there, only so he can be like very gruff and laugh at all the method acting, and be like, "This is all bullshit," you know, like
write catty things about them later in his memoir.
Yeah, I want that.
You're all sitting here doing stupid goddamn voices.
Right.
I'm just trying to fucking act like an actor.
You know how... like, can you imagine how unshowered this set was?
Oh, man.
This Jodie Comer would come to set like, okay, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to need all of you to get away from me right now.
This is just...
During lunch, just her being like, cut the shit. Just talk normal to me.
There
I swear to God.
Buzzards circling above you guys.
Just act normal. We're in a Panera right now.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's
Tom
acting.
Hardy has a little bird cleaning things out of his teeth. This has gone too far.
Oh my God.
Austin Butler traveled back in time. We don't know how he did it.
Austin Butler,
He's
one of them, right?
What?
He's one of them, right? Austin Butler.
Yeah, dude.
He's one of these freaks.
He did Elvis and he did Fade in the new Dune.
Yeah, he sure
He
did.
fucking voiced it up.
He was apparently in The Dead Don't Die. I got to rewatch that because I didn't know who he was.
I still never watched it.
Apparently, he's in Yoga Hosers. I didn't know that.
As who?
At all. I think he's probably one of the kids,
we
one of the
watched
random
it
kids.
fairly recently. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. What a shock that is.
I think isn't he a Disney guy?
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know where he came from. Elvis was when I was like, wait, do I need to know who this is? That was the first time I like said like, now who is this Austin Butler fella? And yeah, he was in iCarly, it looks like. Oh, just one episode.
Oh, okay. I liked him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, that he's apparently in. Aliens in the Attic in 2009. So he was like a Disney Channel kid actor, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, he's super in that movie. He's the one that gets his nuts bit off by the dog.
Wait, you've seen
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Oh,
he plays
okay,
Tex.
I
He
had
plays
so
one of the
many
Manson
questions
family.
I had so many questions about Aliens in the Attic just then.
Oh, I haven't seen Aliens in the Attic, but
All right.
I think there is some nut removal in that movie.
Probably.
That's why
the aliens.
That's why the aliens
they're
are in the attic. Yeah, because they bit everybody's nuts off. Now they have to hide.
Yeah. Yeah, I assume he's a Manson family guy or something.
Yeah, he plays Tex. Anyway, this is a movie full of voice people doing voices.
All right. Final trailer. This is just a teaser, but what a fucking teaser this is. This is Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis that he had to fund his fucking self.
Sure did.
Yeah, with everybody's in it. Everybody's in it. From your DB Sweeneys to your John Voights to your Adam Driver, who is in this trailer. I really like this trailer because all it is Adam Driver seeming terrified going out on this tall building, and then leans forward and then stops time?
He says time stop and he freezes.
Oh yeah, he literally says time stopped.
And then he's able to walk sort of reverse backwards through time and then snap his fingers and time he's back up on the roof safely and time resumes. And that's it.
Yeah, so I have a lot of questions.
Also, like it's a super stylized, like Art Deco, impossibly tall cityscape around him. Just these spires of buildings that do not exist yet.
Yeah. So the premise is that an architect is rebuilding New York City after a disaster. What they didn't say is that it's apparently like the fucking Matrix or something. So yeah, this is Coppola, famous for, producing, what's it called?
Jack. He directed Jack, but...
No, Jeepers Creepers. Famous producer of Jeepers Creepers. Mm-hmm. There we go. Have you watched any of his later? I didn't watch Tetro. I own Twixt, because that movie's fucking weird as shit.
No, I know he's been doing these really small, like almost avant-garde kind of stuff.
Yeah, he basically like went back to being an indie director.
Yeah.
Because it's like Jack the Rainmaker, and then he was like, bye. and then I think he did something called Youth Without Youth that I didn't see, but I remember Twixt coming in 2011 being like, oh, that looks neat, and like looking up who made it, and it's like, huh, that's Coppola. And that's like it's Val Kilmer and Bruce Dern, and Ellie Fanning, and it's like a weird, like almost like surreal. I remember it being like almost mumblecore vampire movie. So it's not just that he's making indie films, it's that he's making like really weird ones that don't feel like Coppola to me.
Yeah.
I
respect it. It's cool.
He's always been pretty diverse, right? Like the stuff he does.
Yeah, like even among like between The Godfather, The Rainmaker, and Jack, those are pretty different movies.
Yeah, Dracula's in there.
Dracula. Yeah.
Yeah. Peggy Sue Got Married.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while, so maybe I should walk that statement back. But I remember really enjoying that movie.
It's weird to think of Coppola as like he's kind of like a Richard Donner.
He's like a Donner, yeah, but like more of an auteur version of Donner.
It's because he's very loud about being a filmmaker, but then he'll quietly make like these wildly different types of films. And this is like, I don't know, has he done sci-fi?
I'm not sure. Not off the top of my head that I can remember, but
yeah, this is one of those questions.
But he's made a lot of movies that
missing something
that I'm not aware of.
Or...
So yeah. I feel like there might be something obvious we're forgetting.
He did direct the short Captain EO, the Michael Jackson ride.
Yeah. So that counts.
Yeah, that counts. This is all to say that I am so excited, and I hope this doesn't just limp out on streaming like it might.
Well, I know it's picked up. It's picked up a distributor in Europe.
Okay.
I don't know how much of a theatrical release it'll have, but
American producers seem to like not want to deal with it.
Like we said earlier, everybody's too scared to do anything.
Yeah, everybody's petrified.
Everybody's too afraid to make movies.
It really is that, where it's like Coppola's over here like, "Did anybody want this film? I already made it." I don't know, maybe. And it's like, just take the fucking film. What the fuck, you guys? What do we have to do? We're handing you a Coppola film, and even then they're just terrified. Yeah, they don't even have to pay to make it. You literally just have to put it in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And advertise
$100 million.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot. It's not. Not for not for Universal or Warner Brothers.
No. That's
how much they
of a
paid
Jurassic
David
World.
Zaslav.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. How much did Madam Web cost?
Oh, goodness.
Like, come on, guys.
But Dave, see, that was more of a sure thing because it kind of sort of had Spider-Man in it.
Yeah. It's just wild because then you see like, yeah, okay, Madam Web was $100 million. So yeah, it's just absolutely fucking bonkers that they're like Dune came out, Oppenheimer, and it's like there's clear this need for like auteur filmmakers that like are making these kind of serious epics, and Coppola's like, anybody want this? And they're like, nah. There's no reason to invest
in that.
Anybody
want this? It looks kind of like Francis Ford Coppola's version of Inception starring Adam Driver. Does that seem like it? People might want to watch that? No?
Nah.
Nobody wants to watch that? Okay.
No interest. Jesus fucking Christ.
Anyway.
Someone just fucking put this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to watch this.
Me
Dustin
too,
Hoffman's in it. Jason Schwartzman's in it.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Aubrey Plaza's in it.
Everybody, Dave. Everyone is in it. You're in it.
Yeah, probably. Time for news stories.
Yeah,
then.
let's talk about some news stories.
Yeah, we got to thank some producers.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that first.
All right. Big thank you to Deborah's awesome. Barbara's great, and cancer can go to hell.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dracula, the bus-driving vampire.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Driftless, God Emperor of Hype. Suggest everyone watch 1985's The Return of the Living Dead.
Way ahead of you, pal.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to Ed Nugg.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you to Funky J Mostly Comes Out at Night. Mostly.
Thank you.
Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thanks.
Thank you to Highlander Likes the Way Tom Says Pretty Sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you to Hombre.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to ImpossibleWorlds.net, a magazine, and there's a podcast.
Thanks.
Ooh, thank you.
All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Jay the Crow Baron says, build a guillotine in rich people's yard, 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chris Shanovich.
Thank you.
Thank you to Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad.
Thank you.
Thank you to Luke Ma, I'm on a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mackenzie Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick Chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mike the Lurker. Nope, Mike the Helldiver.
Yes.
Thank you to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Tell Your Wife how many Patreon subscriptions you have before you agree to buy a house.
Thank you.
Thank you to musical guest Darius Rucker.
Thank you.
Thank you to No One Can Hear You Scream and Space McNulty.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Whew. So we got, I don't know, some sort of Disney thing happened.
Some kind of Disney thing? What?
They like did a event or I don't know.
They did like
Disney,
an event. It's like an earnings call, I think.
Yeah, Disney
their quarterly
says,
earnings call.
Right. Disney has decided perhaps to focus on quality. Sorry, it's very funny because it's like, yeah, guys. They're saying they're only going to release no more than 3 Marvel movies a year, which I think is just the same amount they've been.
Sorry, I misspoke. This was just he told this to. These are just quotes from Bob Iger. It wasn't from apparently wasn't from an earnings call. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out because what he's saying is like we're going to limit it to no more than 3 movies per year and no more than 2 shows per year. And I was like, that's exactly what you were putting out before.
It's really funny. It's like I don't know. It's like the vibe of a junkie. Like I'm going to get my life together.
The article points out that they've only put out 4 movies or more in a year twice. And one of them was a Spider-Man movie that was co-produced by Sony. So it's like,
right.
You're not talking about doing any less.
Yeah. It's like someone saying like, I'll only do cocaine on the weekends.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what you were already doing, man.
No. I'll only do cocaine after 5:00.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. So they're saying they're cutting back on film output. He says no more than 3, so I guess he's saying like we won't it might be less than that.
Right.
But it's just very funny for someone who makes movies being like, so, new plan. Let's focus on good movies and not dumping a bunch of movies out. It's like, yeah, man, that is
it's just such
what you should be doing.
It's such cart before the horse thinking. Like, it's like, we'll make no more than 2 or 3 movies and no more than 2 or 3 shows. Oh, the spark of creativity is going to strike that many times?
Yeah.
You got that many stories to tell that are interesting and worthwhile, and
he literally what he should be saying is we'll only make movies when we have a good idea for them.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. Like
holy
you still
shit.
Completely missed it.
Yeah.
Completely missed it.
It's like, holy shit.
He's also gone on record saying like movies have too many messages now. Yeah. And when he said messages, he like gave examples where it was just like, oh, you mean that's the M word, minorities is what you want to say.
Yeah.
And then him saying, like he said, like it's no secret that our last 2 movies didn't do good. And he was talking about what Marvels and Ant-Man, I think.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
Again,
yeah.
It's like it's this compounding thing where it's like I've said it already. Marvel they honestly should just become a studio and just start putting out like movies, because like honestly, when they've created this giant movie studio and they hire so many people and it's an entire studio devoted to making one film. Like just one universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's nuts. That's like opening like a store and only selling a single product, like
right. Like theoretically, Lucasfilm didn't only make Star Wars.
It's like opening a store and saying, we're making this store is all hairbrushes. And that's it. And it's like, I don't know if you need to fill a store with hairbrushes. Like it's, like Lucasfilm they made other films. They made other Willow.
Films. Yeah, Universal doesn't only make King Kong or shark movies.
Most studios make a variety of movies.
All right, I'm sorry. A more timely example. Let me pick things that aren't fucking 100 or 50 years old.
I get it.
Universal doesn't only make Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, because that would be a bad business model, right?
Yeah.
Because if you do that, then basically all that has to happen is the society goes, we're sick of Marvel movies. We don't want superhero movies anymore. And they've lost their entire business. Like, make other movies. That's what we used to do.
Yeah.
They could be like, we're just making action movies. And I'd be like, okay. But like, or if they just said we're making comic book movies and then made wildly different and disconnected. There's enough comics out there.
Yeah.
Right? They must have. Where they could do, like, they just refuse. They're like, everything has to be one long plot.
I think that maybe that could be the biggest thing that should maybe be ditched.
Yeah.
Because I think of Marvel more as a sort of like a subdivision.
Right.
You know,
I do too, except it's gigantic.
It's so huge, right?
It's like Miramax, it's its own thing.
It's technically like a sub studio of Disney, so it's, it isn't its own studio, but it is. It's like one of the biggest studios in history. Yeah, you're right. It's so weird. Such an unusual place that movies are in right now.
Yeah, it's
not unusual.
Really,
interesting is what I meant to say, not unusual.
Yeah, but it is really fucking like, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I just looked it up. Like, they have thousands of employees.
It's massive.
It's just weird. Yeah, it's just so weird. Like, they're doing it wrong. They're doing
it's backwards. It's cart before the horse.
Yeah, we keep talking about, we've mentioned it like on streaming where they're like, here's the Star Wars channel. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, the idea was like, you make these movies until people are like, we want something new, and you make that. And now they're like, we're going to make a Star Wars film a year for the next 20 years. We're going to be like Apple, but Star Wars. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? That's not how stories work.
No, it's
Jesus Christ.
That's what happens when you treat a story like a product. Anyway, we can move on.
Speaking of Nicolas Cage, Speaking of stories, I mean, good stories. Nicolas Cage is going to be apparently playing Jesus' dad in a biblical horror film.
Yeah, this one sounds really interesting.
Yeah, and when I say Jesus' dad, when I first read that, I was like, God? And no, it's
they mean
the
Joseph,
it's the other guy.
It sounds like in the description in this Deadline article that you link, it sounds like a real abstracted version of the Jesus story from the Bible. Like really abstracted, like it's called The Boy and The Carpenter and
it's the carpenter's son, and they call the baby the boy. It sounds like it's like, we're not saying it's Jesus, but who else could it be? You know, that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Like really, really abstracted, it seems like. I'm really happy about what Nicolas Cage is up to right now. Because at first in my head I was like, this doesn't feel like a job for Nicolas Cage. This feels like a job for, like, I don't know, let's start with an Egyptian actor or Middle Eastern actor to start. But that would be good, right? But I just don't know what the fuck this is going to be. It says it is about a family hiding in Egypt with a son known as the Boy. And then there's another mysterious child. So it's like Life of Brian. Is it Life of Brian? Kind of
they say
like
is driven to doubt by another mysterious child. The carpenter, let's see.
No, they're talking about Jesus, right? They're talking about Jesus.
All right. Here's the quote.
Because the carpenter's son is like, I think that we're supposed to assume that it's like just some other kid that they had.
I don't know. It says the son, known only as the Boy, is driven to doubt by another mysterious child, and rebels against his guardian, the carpenter, revealing inherent powers and a fate beyond his comprehension. This is also a bad sentence.
Yeah, that's true.
So, okay. As he exercises his own power, the Boy and his family become the target of horrors, natural and divine. So I think I know what this is. I think it's like The Omen. I think it's the idea of, like, they have this baby that is the son of God, and it's way too much for them, you know, like, and it draws way too much heat, spiritual heat. So it's like a horror movie.
It's too much heat.
It's like,
too much heat.
Yeah, it's a horror movie where it's like all this shit's happening around this kid, and they're like.
No, it sounds cool. And I love what Nick Cage is doing now. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
picking
the
shit like
trailers
this.
for Long Legs, where at first I was like, Nicolas Cage is a serial killer. That's going to be over the top. Then I realized, like, Nicolas Cage can do subtle performances.
And none of the trailers, like the advertising, went in complete opposite direction. They're
not showing him at all.
They don't advertise that he's in it at all.
Yeah, you hear him, and you realize, like, it might not be a subtle performance, but I bet it will be a very good one. You know. Like, Nicolas Cage is back. You know?
Yeah. Nick Cage, I think, is tricky for some people, though, which I totally get, because I know that there's going to be some people who have only ever seen him as over-the-top super meme Cage.
Yeah. But, like, Mandy is a good example of, like, you get the whole spectrum.
You get the whole spectrum, yeah.
And
the
so
whole
it's
Cage.
Like, yeah, he's always been a little over the top, but, like, early in his career, well... Vampire's Kiss, not really, but he's had the capability to do more subtle roles over time. He just chooses not to. So I don't know. It's always a loud choice. That's all. Mm-hmm. Speaking of choices,
loud choices.
This dropped this morning. Peter Jackson is producing more Lord of the Rings. They're going to make more. He's not directing it. This is going to be directed by Andy Serkis, and the working title is called Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum.
I've seen so many people have made the Spaceballs joke.
Yes, the search for more money. The hunt for Gollum.
The hunt for Gollum.
What? Hunt for Gollum?
What fucking hunt?
It's the search for Spock.
The fucking...
Holy shit!
When the ring race ran him down.
I think people are theorizing it's the brief montage where Gandalf, like, goes to look for Gollum, and he's being tortured.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah. Like he gets like snatched by the Nazgul or whatever and dragged back to Mordor to get tortured.
Why do we need
I
that
don't need
story?
that movie. The Passion of the Golem?
It was a montage for a reason. It was like boop, boop, boop. It was like, even in the director's cut, the extended version, it was like...
So that part is not one of the ones that was extended.
It's not the story Peter Jackson needed to tell, or anyone.
Or that's how they pushed it too. It's like, we're going to be telling the untold stories, meaning the ones that don't exist.
Don't exist.
Which
don't need to be
fine, whatever. It's fine. It's whatever. But this is the fact that it's a Gollum spinoff is really confusing. I think it's what I wrote in the doc, which is that I think the executives think he's like their Jar Jar. Like, I think they look at Gollum and go, like, he's kind of a cartoon, funny voice. Kids must love him. Like he's like, when they make Lego Lord of the Rings, like, they probably lean on him, where it's like, he's the funny one. He's the kids' It's
character.
kind of like the more of the mascot, like Darth Vader in Star Wars, how they lean on Darth Vader a lot.
Yeah. So they're like, yeah, fuck it. We could tell Gollum's story. And he's kind of loose more, like, he lived very long. There's huge gaps in his life, that aren't written about in the books. But as we keep saying, I think the reason why is because no one really, like, Gollum's story is like a fable, and it's very clear, and it's just, we talked about this with Star Wars. It's that thing of like, well, there's this 10-year period in their life. Let's make a movie about that. And it's like, there's a reason. They didn't make that movie. Wasn't in the story. Yeah, it's like, what if we made a movie about Alan Grant's time as like an archaeologist? It's like, because that's not the interesting story, right? It's when he goes to the park. Like, it's that, where it's like, what if we made like the story of Gollum, like, just bumming around? It's like, I don't care about that. I don't care. We got Gollum's story. It was called Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, like Middle Earth, that's its own universe. There's other stories you could tell in there. It's hard to imagine one that could have higher stakes than the story they told in Lord of the Rings. But they don't all have to match the same stakes. So it's its own universe. You can make other stories. It's so weird that it's a Gollum spinoff of all the characters. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a dead villain. To me, it's the same reason why The Hobbit didn't work, but one of the reasons why. They reverse Marvel, which is also known as the DCU, which is they told the big story, and then they're like, now let's tell all these little inconsequential stories. And it's like, I don't care about those. You did it wrong. Yeah, like Marvel, the reason why Marvel had such success is they told all these little stories building up to like, Thanos? Who's Thanos? Getting us individually invested in each of the main characters too. Right. And they keep doing it wrong. Like, I remember in The Hobbit where they like hint at Sauron, and I'm like, yeah, I know who he is. I saw him die. Like, twice. They hint at him like he's Thanos and he's coming, and it's like, he came. We saw him. We already saw that story. Yeah. It's just Isildur cuts his hand off, and then, like, he's an eye the rest of the time. He never comes back. Right. Because we saw what happens. Like, I think the Star Wars prequels fucked everybody up. Because, like, the prequels was, like, it's also that, where it's like, how did we get Darth Vader? And that made a lot of money, in part because it was the first Star Wars thing. Yeah. But now they're like, well, how did the Death Star plans get from A to B? And it's like, I don't fucking care. Rogue One was good, but it's still like, I didn't need that puzzle filled in, or that piece, I put this quote in the doc, and I think we can move on after this. But this is what like the official quote was from Peter Jackson and the producers. It's an honor and a privilege to travel back to Middle Earth with our good friend and collaborator, Andy Serkis, who has unfinished business with that stinker Gollum. That stinker. Like, if think about Disney, that's a Disney movie quote, right? That's like Stitch's back. Think about his character in the trilogy, like his arc, the journey that character goes through. That stinker. Yeah.
Like, what a
He's a tragic character. That's the point of Gollum.
like, what a fucking fundamental misunderstanding of the character.
Yeah.
Like, that stink. Like, is he Bugs Bunny?
Yeah.
Is that how you view him in this movie?
That is legit, I think, how they're seeing him. They're like the brand Gollum. We gotta push. I like the unfinished business is that they're offering him business, right? That's the unfinished business. It's, we'll give you this many $1 million.
Yeah.
Like, this screams a bunch of people who are like, it screams like an intern who they're like, just put out a statement. We don't care.
Yeah. That stinker. He's
God.
like this devastating, operatic, tragic character. He's, like you said, is a very simple fable.
Yeah. No one's buying this, by the way. The internet is just overwhelmingly like, no. Why?
Holy shit.
It's I don't know.
Like, it would have been less shocking if they're like, he has unfinished business. He has unfinished business with that little cum rag Gollum.
That feisty jizz stained Gollum.
Yeah.
What a fucking nightmare. Look, this is how I feel. I've had to go great lengths to like forget The Hobbit exists, to like cherish Lord of the Rings as this standalone wonderful trilogy, this epic. The last true, like, well, no, I'm not going to say the last we had in a while, right? Like, amazing film epic. Something that's going to last hundreds of years. Like, that to me, Lord of the Rings is one of those movies. It's like Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like they didn't try to make like Return to Oz, and they haven't since kept making Wizards of Oz's. But
there have
like
been many attempts at a Wizards of Oz.
Yeah, this is one where I'm just like, I want to plug my ears and go like, this doesn't exist. I'm not even going to think about it. I don't know. Make more of fucking Rings of Power. I know no one watched it, but I did, and that was chill. That was chill. It's a TV show. I can disassociate and sort of say like, well, that's its own thing, you know. But this, it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's a show I keep meaning to watch, but I haven't watched it yet. And like the Lord of the Rings video games that they've made, like even like the Shadow of Mordor or whatever, that was sort of like that cool like Assassin's Creed type thing.
Right.
Like it never holds my interest. Like I don't play the games. I haven't gotten around to watching the series, and it's I think it occurs to me that I'm not really a fan of the Lord of the Rings universe. I just like the Lord of the Rings story.
For sure. Rings of Power is chill only because it feels like a good series idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's lower stakes, but it's also like
it's like crazy far in the past too, like before the events of the movie. I mean,
oh yeah, no, it's so just you wait, because like Mordor, for example, does not look like what you think it looks like. It's shit like that. And so like it's high stakes in that you like the characters. That's what I'll say, which is like, I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed it because I cared about the people in it. You know, they didn't make it like the fate of Middle Earth, but you still care because you just, I like the characters. So like that, to me, that's like the best thing that's come since Lord of the Rings. But anyway,
because I think that's smart. Like they were smart enough to try to not make it the fate of Middle Earth, because we saw that already.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I still want to check out the show, but like, man, yeah, it just doesn't feel essential to me.
No, again, none of it does, because it was this book series that a guy wrote that was like, here's the story. Then it became movies, and then we were done. There's no more story to tell.
It's okay for things to be done sometimes.
Yeah, it's okay for things to be done. That's
Speaking of which, Dave,
let's thank some more producers.
Shall we move on? Yeah.
Yeah. Big old thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you to Pete Forpagel.
Thanks so much.
Thank you to Numino Ultramicroscopic Silico Volcano Coniosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones. Thank you. Thank you to Pre-Order Jason Pargin's new book so he can keep making big feats.
Thank you.
Thank you to Psychic Bigfoot.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rev MD.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraser Head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thanks.
Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you.
Thank you to Steven.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank you.
Thank you to the ghost of Dave Thomas.
Eerie, thank you. All right, let me jump in here. Thank you to the Midnight Patron with patrons at midnight.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Municipal Medicinal Arsonist.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Tubi Terror Bunny says, the strikes may be over, but egg David Zaslav for fun and profit.
Absolutely.
Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to # Thomas J and the Bees.
Thank you.
A lot of bees represented.
I know.
Thank you to Tiger Shores, Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tux.
Thank you.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you to Why Don't You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon?
Thank you.
Thank you to Yorgos from the island of Crete.
Thank you.
Thank you to your mom.
Thank you. Yeah, once we re-alphabetize, there'll be a separation of the bees.
Separation of the bees. We got to spread these bees out, Dave.
Yeah.
You can't let too many bees get together. They start making hives, and then you start making honey. And then what are you going to do? You got all this honey on your hands.
You gotta fuck that honey.
You gotta fuck that honey, man. That's what it's there for. That's why that's why honeycomb looks like that.
Yeah.
I got a real important question for you, Dave, now that we've come to the end of this.
Yeah.
As we're trying to wrap things up. And
what could that be?
I need to know
Okay.
if you have a movie that deserves more hype.
Oh, I do.
Sub question.
Yeah.
Is it a horror movie?
It is.
What luck?
It is. Tom, I'm not purposefully, I know you're expecting, I'm not purposely throwing in movies where babies are in peril. It just keeps happening.
Just keeps happening by accident. I hadn't noticed.
I noticed, like, after I added this, I was like, huh, that's a weird pattern. Sleep. This is called Sleep. This is, where is this out of? I should know. It's Korea.
Yes.
It's Korean. This is coming out July 12th, around my birthday, a little after my birthday. But this is a really simple premise that I think looks very well executed, and the reviews agree. It's about a couple who has a baby on the way, husband and wife, and the husband starts sleepwalking and doing weird shit. He says someone's inside, I believe. And then he starts like as you see in the trailer, he starts like eating shit from the fridge, like raw meat. He starts scratching himself. He gets creepier and creepier. And so the premise is kind of this couple working together to figure out what's going on. And of course, he becomes more and more threatening in his sleep. So the reviews are saying like it's kind of cool. One of the cool aspects is watching a couple team up to try to like solve this thing when the threat is also one of the couples. The reviews are also saying the last 15 minutes are like out of control in a way that they won't describe. They kind of describe it as it's a mystery, possibly supernatural. It's like, is it a demon? Is he sleepwalking? Is he pretending to? Like, there's all these ideas, right? Which is like, and so it's like, it's more of a mystery horror around this idea of like, why is he doing this shit? What is happening? Is it natural? Is it not natural? Is it sinister? It looks like he tries to jump out the balcony. What'd you think?
I was really into this, man. This looks scary.
This looks scary.
It's rarely do I see a trailer where I'm like, this looks scary, and this does.
One of those like primal things. Sleep is such a good one because we literally, like, our society was built around the idea that we're vulnerable.
When we sleep. That's why
animals.
That's why society exists.
Exactly. And so, like, I always think about how creepy it is that at night, like when I worked nights, overnights, I always thought about this, like the entire world, like Los Angeles, most of it just stops. And everybody, rich, poor, cops, criminals, whatever, like bad people, good people, they all have to get in their little dens and they have to sleep. And that's so weird that like the idea of everything shutting down. And then like I had sleepwalking bouts. And so there's that added thing of like the vulnerability of sleep, and then the idea of like, I need to sleep and I'm scared of what will happen to me. There's a whole film series based on this called, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's there's so much here.
Yeah.
And this is such a simple idea, which is like, there's every night he does something fucked up.
Yeah. And like really, it looks really intense. Like his behavior starts getting really, really frightening. Like it reminds me a little bit of a werewolf movie. Or something similar, because he knows he's going to quote unquote transform. So like we see him get wrapped up in one of those, essentially like those body bags. Those like I forget what they call them.
It's a sleeping bag.
A sleeping bag.
My dad has one,
but one that like keeps you from moving. Like a weighted blanket almost.
It's like a climber's sleeping bag almost. Like it's like a cocoon.
Mm-hmm.
They're great. Like I said, my dad has one. They're really fun.
So there's that element to it, and then but what makes it really spooky for me is it's twofold. One is the gaslighting element that you mentioned, where it's like,
what if he's just doing it on purpose?
Could just be doing this, and that's like sleepwalking has always been that kind of, like, you always kind of think your friends are bullshitting you when they're like, I was sleepwalking. You're like, where are you?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just like this frightening aspect of, like, you can't wake the person up. Right. Because like that, I don't know. It's such a good idea, like you said. And the trailer, it just, the way they chose to have him behave, it's not super over the top, at least not in what we see in the trailer, but it's like, it's just off in just the right way that would totally fuck you up if it was like in the middle of the night and like your friend or your partner or something was doing this. Yeah. You'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't know if I shared this story. I've alluded to it. When I lived at Garbage House, I worked a job where I had to get up at 6 a.m. in this punk party house where we'd all get shit-faced. So I would get shit-faced early and go to bed earlier than everybody else. And they developed what they called the bear, which was when I would get up, half sleepwalking, half drunk. And they described me as having like blank eyes, a doll's eyes. And I was just this lumbering madness. And I remember my friend telling me the story of the night where he looked down the hallway, and sure enough, there I was. And I looked down the hallway with the blankest of stairs, and then I walked into his bedroom. And he got up like, nope, up. He went into the bedroom. It gets worse. And I'm in there, and he's like, Dave, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm going to piss on your chair. Very matter of fact. I'm here to piss on your chair. And he's like, okay.
You called?
Yeah. And he's like, okay, let's get you to the bathroom. And I got angry. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. Like, I'm not pissing on the floor. I'm just going to piss on your chair, man. Relax. Like, they had to negotiate it with me. And then at the same time, my friend Sean, who was, I shouldn't use this, too late, happened to be really high, hadn't seen me in a while, ran in and went and didn't know I was sleepwalking and was like, Dave, and hugged me. So I just started beating on him. And they had to pull me off. And then they had to guide me to the bathroom. And then I went back to bed. And me and Sean were coworkers at the time. So the drive to work the next morning was very quiet because I had no memory of this. So yeah, I don't drink anymore and I don't sleepwalk anymore. But that was a very disruptive house, like everybody was partying while I'm trying to sleep. Yeah. So I get why it happened. That was the second time I accosted Sean in my sleep. But the first time he had it coming, so I don't feel bad for the first time.
Yin and yang, it balances out.
Exactly.
So sleep. Catch it. Watch the trailer.
Very personal story to me.
Yeah. Think about Dave. Just standing at the end of the hallway.
Yeah, like a horror movie, like a fucking horror movie.
Like
really.
A fucking horror movie.
Just staring blankly. Terrifying me.
Well, I think we've done it, Dave. I think we've gone and done a sode.
We did it. We did a sode. This is
for
where
us.
we'd ask our
Good
guest
for us.
things. Good for us. You know what? You know where you can find us? You can go to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. GAMEFULLY Unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts over there for just $5 a month. You get access to Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek Next Futurama, and Spiel Boys, all for $5. Not each, the whole shebang. For a little more, you can watch movies with us every Friday night. I have no idea what we're going to watch. I haven't even thought about it.
Oh, yeah, we have a plan. I'll remind you.
Oh, okay, good. All right, well, Tom knows, I don't. Anyway, check that out.
Yeah, we also have a store. Head over to gamefulunemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store where we have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So slap your sleepwalking peepers onto that.
Yes. Your blank doll's eye peepers.
Doll's eyes. And, yeah. Okay, we can be done.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. Find him on Twitter at @thecorlew or go to shipwrecksailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is by Michael Vincent Bramley. For more of his work, go to mvbramley.art. Episode artwork is by Justin Brown. Available on Twitter as @JustinTBrown or at artnessbyjustinbrown.com. And finally, additional artwork by Starlene Hodge. You can find her work at starlenearts.com or Twitter @StarleneX. Goodbye now.